360 frames per second. Come on, now.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and post shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army. Going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Shorty like, damn, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Ooh, keep on sobbing, got this bitch off the hand. Got this juice, got the drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, this is salt. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. One way, one way, one way, one way, one way. Coming up on my
I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settle and see. You locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's One West. You can check the residency. I reside with soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause there's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on this beat. Hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me and they all red rum, red rum, red rum. Got you fuckers scared some. Get the banging on this beat till my fucking head numb. Black Glock, red drums, black and yellow air ones. Homie, you ain't got a vest. I suggest you wear one.
Told these niggas we was going up. They was doing a lot of talking. Now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit. Lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third. Lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all steppin'. Kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5 but you doing life. These hands are rude GPS. A mean right. That's mean right. We build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a cod. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowin' by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with Cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoke until we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit.
Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding trap on my chrome. Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding trap on my chrome.
Been out of these streets, nigga tryna eat while the police own family stealing from me. I'm on the phone me to pray, but white Jesus can't save me. Get him away from me. I don't know what to say. So many niggas hating me. Get them away from me.
Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding trap on my chrome. Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding trap on my chrome.
Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome. Pour and sip on my own. Don't need you all on my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my car. Trying to keep it on the true side, nigga. Laying low to play it cool now, nigga. Ass niggas on the team, I've been known to get the green ever since I was 2-5, nigga. Coop hanging out the roof, nah, nigga. Cause I ain't stunting on them. Put my whole team on so they ain't wanting. When niggas doing bad, you know that they be hating on you. Get the hoping that you fall, they be waiting on it. Bullshit, get bread from the envy. Best friends get to looking like enemies. When you got it in his bank account empty. Perfect recipe to brittle out of jealousy. Looking from a bird's eye view. Learn from everything I've been through. Told my baby girl, if you ain't spending life with the nigga, never let him put a dick up in you. Cause if a nigga wrong, I'ma check that shit. And when you paper long, never flex that shit. Told my son, when you getting money, never trick it to a bop and flip it over, then invest that shit. Give a lot of game, trying to bless my kid. Gotta keep it real, that's the best shit. Got hitters up in Philly, back in Texas. When I get up on the track, yeah, I wreck shit.
Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Pour and sip on my own. Don't need you all on my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my cone. Pour and sip on my own. Don't need you all on my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my cone.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We in the building. Back in the building. We are the ISUPK. That's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of Harlem, New York since 1969 under Commanding General Yohana. And we've been sent by the Most High, by the command of Commanding General Yohana, to teach the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanic, and so-called Native American people that we are the true Israelites of this Bible.
That's right.
Of this Bible. This is the only constitution that we follow. Give me Psalms 83. I want you guys to understand something about this class that we're going to do tonight. It's not going to be that long, but the class tonight is going to be things that Christians say about marriage and things that fake Hebrew Israelites say about marriage. Right. So it's not just Christians, but now that we have come into the truth, now we want to go outside of our garden and eat from other trees. We want to go and find something that's more pleasant to the eyes and more and better for the belly. And what I mean by that is things that is contrary to these scriptures, things that is contrary to the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. Give me Psalms 83. All
right, you start from the top.
Yes, Khan. I want listen very carefully. We're going to try to be I'm going to try to ease into this teaching because I understand that we have sensitive ears. And because we have sensitive ears, some people will take things that we say offensive, like Christians take everything that we say offensive. But some of our own people will take offense to some of the things that we say based on the Bible. But if we're wrong, prove it. We're inviting anybody on the show next week to show that what we are going to bring out right now is wrong. All right. That's because for some reason, it to a lot of people is wrong. Now, I have received some emails. I have received some text messages. So those are the things that I'm gonna go over pertaining to this topic. But the first thing I want everybody that listened to this video to understand this. Read.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence. Hold not thy peace. He's saying, keep not thy silence. Hold not thy peace. Read.
And be not still.
Be not still. That means act out. Remember, vengeance is the Lord's. Vengeance is the Lord. And this is what this Psalms is speaking of. All right. And it's going to talk about some things that's very important to the topic that we're going to be discussing this evening. Read.
Oh God, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Come on.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Read.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
What kind of counsel?
Crafty counsel.
Crafty counsel. It's very important to understand that it's crafty counsel. Don't just think for 1 minute you can wake up and now all of a sudden you all wise and now you understand this crafty counsel. All right. This crafty counsel is on a whole nother level. Read it again, Up.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Against who?
Thy people.
Against thy people. Read.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
Come on.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Read it again.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
A nation. That is the 12 tribes of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 12 tribes of Israel. So they're saying they got together to take crafty counsel against thy hidden ones,
mm-hmm,
to hide who Israel is.
That's right.
To take away who Israel is, to cut them off from being a nation. It's very important to understand that it was crafty counsel designed and put in place to cut us off from being a nation. Read that.
Right. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Come on.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
So they all on one page.
Mm-hmm.
They all in harmony on this one. They all in harmony. Everybody is together with this crafty counsel. Everybody, all the nations are on one page. They like one man, like we should be. We should be
right.
operating as one man.
That's right.
But we're not operating as one man because of verse 3. Read verse 3 again.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
This is the reason why we are divided, because of the crafty counsel.
That's right.
The counsel is crafty. It's very crafty. And the whole point is they have to get you to buy into their crafty counsel in order for it to work.
Right.
Just because they're coming together and they getting in a room and they doing their crafty counsel and they putting things together, not only do they got to put it together, they got to get you to believe it. They have to get you to co-sign for it. You have to be down with it. All right. You have to be. Read. Go back down to verse 6. Now we're going to talk about who actually start at 5, because I want you guys to hear who's a part of this crafty counsel. Read.
Mm-hmm. For they have consulted together with one consent.
Come on.
They are confederate against thee.
Read.
The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites,
mm-hmm,
of Moab and the Hagarenes.
Come on.
Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah.
So these are all this is all the nations.
Mm-hmm.
All the nations got together for this crafty counsel to take away Israel from being a people. Very important.
If I may, sir.
People, go ahead.
If I may, it's very clear that they are against us, because in verse 5 it says they are confederate, meaning they are all together. Like he said, you know what I mean? They got together and they said, man, what we got to do to keep these people from being a nation. You see what I'm saying? So that's so key and that's so vital, because we want to believe that we are all one nation, that we are all one people, and that we are all equal. But here the Bible is telling you that there is a people that comes together to be separate from you.
Mm-hmm. And
they are together and being separate and coming against you. You see what I'm saying? And when the thing that always pops out at me, this is the scripture right here, Officer Tashiem. This is the scripture that woke me up. You see what I'm saying? This is a scripture, and I always, you know what I mean, hold this prayer to a high regard, because it lists the daggone nations that were vital in your captivity. And it lists the main one, Edom, and then Ishmael, like boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Edom being the so-called our so-called oppressor. You see what I'm saying? The so-called white man, you know what I'm saying? And Ishmael being the so-called Arab. If you do your history, you'll see, it's not hidden
That's right.
that they work so hard to keep us at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget the Hamites is in there too.
Kana Wakan. Kana
All right?
Wakan.
So we got one piece of literature, which is this Bible, to help us navigate out of this mess.
Mm-hmm.
And the crafty counsel is against that. Give me Deuteronomy 4.
Kana Wakan.
And start at verse 1.
Kana Wakan.
We must understand that the crafty counsel is real. All right. So the things that we're going to be saying tonight is real. All right. And we want to try to keep it real, just like we've been taught by Commanding General Yohana and our generals and our captains and the officers that's above us. We have to keep it real, and it has to be straightforward and exactly what the scriptures say. So give me Deuteronomy 4:1. Read.
Kana Wakan. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 1. Now, therefore, hearken, O Israel.
Oh, who?
O Israel.
So this is to that nation that we just read about, that they said that they wanted to take away from being a nation. Read.
Unto the statutes and unto the judgments, which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live, and go in and possess the land which the Lord God of your fathers giveth you.
Now, I want you to go up to verse. Go down to verse 4.
Kana Wakan. Verse 4. But ye that did cleave unto the Lord your God are alive, every one of you this day.
So if you cleave onto the Lord, you are alive.
That's
if you
right.
cleave onto the most high power, you are alive. All right. And this is how. Read.
Verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Come on.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Come on.
Verse 7. For what nation is there so great?
This is what they're going to be saying about us. What nation is so great? Go ahead.
For what nation is there so great, who have God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for?
Come on.
And what nation is there so great, that hath statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day?
So that's what we're going to be using this evening.
That's right.
This is what we're going to be using. We're going to be using our wisdom, our understanding in the sight of the nations. It doesn't matter what the nations say. We're going to be using the law that the Most High gave us, that gives us that wisdom, that gives us that statute, that gives us that position. All right. That's what we're going to hold on to. And that's what we're going to use as we navigate through these scriptures. All right. All right. So the first scripture we're going to go to is what's that? What is that? 1 Peter.
Let me get
We're going to be looking at 2 together. We're going to be looking at 1 Peter 2 and 13. Now, the question is here, and what we're going to be looking at on things that Christians say. Christians is saying, and fake Hebrew Israelites are saying, that we have to follow the law of the land. They're saying if the Most High put us in this captivity, and when he put us in this captivity, he put them over us, the governors, the rulers over us. We have to follow what they say. Now, this person that gave me this scripture didn't give me if it's against the law, statutes, and the commandments, we don't follow it. They didn't tell me that, because the discussion that we're having is multiple wives. That's the discussion that we're having. So that's the first thing I'm going to look at. So I'm going to look at a couple scriptures and break a couple scriptures down on exactly what these scriptures is saying and what it really means. So we're going to be looking at Romans 13 and 1. You can grab that one, and 1 Peter 2 and
13. You want me to start with the Romans 13 and 1?
Nah, we're going to we're going to end with the Romans. We're going to end with the Romans.
Kind of,
go to the
2 and 13.
All
All right. This is the book of First Peter, chapter 2 and verse 13.
Come on.
Submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake, whether it be to the king as supreme. Keep going.
That's Tawab. I think, yeah, that's all they gave me. Read that again.
Submit yourselves every ordinances of man for the Lord's sake, whether it be to the king as supreme. 14. Or unto governors. You want me to do 14 as well?
Yeah, you can do 14.
Come, sir. Or unto governors as unto them that are sent by him for the punishment of evildoers and for the praise of them that do well.
All right, now is this talking about we have to follow them on all things as the person gave it to me? Well, let's see. Give me Leviticus 20 and 13. Give me Leviticus 20 and 13. Now I want you to hold that Leviticus in 20 and 13, and then I want you to go back to First Peter, where you just came from, and read chapter 4, verse 11.
So this Leviticus 20 and 13, you said?
20 and 13. Hold that.
And
we're gonna look at First
Peter's 4
and 11.
All right, Khan. You want me to start there, 4 and 11?
Baba Kasha.
All right, Khan. This is the book of First Peter, chapter 4 and verse 11.
Come on.
If any man speak.
If what?
If any man speak.
If any man speak. This is talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people. This is talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. Read.
Let him speak as the oracles of God.
Say what?
Let him speak as the oracles of God.
Let him speak the oracles of the Most High God. So, well, what are those oracles? Those oracles are those precepts. It's the precepts. Read that from the top again, because what we have is we have two verses, two precepts in this one book, which is Peter. And the first one, it says, submit yourselves to the ordinances of man for the Lord's sake, whether it be to the king as supreme. All right. So now read that again. First Peter 4 and 11.
It's the book of First Peter, chapter 4 and verse 11.
Come on.
If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God.
Come on.
If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which God giveth.
Come on.
That God in all things.
In some things.
In all things.
In all things. That's even dealing with the governor. It's even dealing with the president. It's even dealing with any law of your land. Read.
With Salakia. Let him do it as of the ability which God giveth, that God in all things may be glorified through Jesus Christ, to whom he praise and Salakia, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever.
All right. So now we have two precepts in First Peter. One is saying we gotta follow the ordinances of man in all things. The other one says, if any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of the Most High God give to him, and let him minister in that fashion. So now let's see if I'm going to have a contradiction with the law of the land. Go ahead, give me Leviticus 20 and 13.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 13.
Come on.
If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination.
They both have done what?
They have committed an abomination.
That's not what the law of the land say.
Right.
That's not what the law of the land say. What do I do? How should I handle this? How should I deal with the fact that this individual told me that I got to follow all the oracles of the law, all the laws of the land?
Right.
Because they was put there to be over me. Now give me let's go to Romans now.
Okay.
Let's go to Romans chapter 1, and then we're gonna look at that other piece. The other piece in what's that? Romans. They gave me two of them in Romans, but this one that we're gonna look at right now, this is Romans 1, We're gonna start at verse, because the law of the land say 2 men can be married. So
Right.
let's start at verse. Start at verse 24.
Kana Makan.
20. Matter of fact, Salakia. Start at 21.
Kana Makan. This is the book of Romans, chapter 1, and verse 21. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him, not as God, neither were thankful, but because vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened.
Let me tell you something. The Most High is getting ready to come at one of these laws. He's getting ready to come at one of these laws of the land. Matter of fact, it was a law of the land in Rome just as well. It wasn't just here. It was in Rome just as well. So listen to Paul. Listen to him. Go ahead, keep going.
Kana Makan. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
This is what happens when you try to go up against the Most High. When you try to go up against the Most High with his laws, his statutes, his commandments, and you coming at him, coming at this book, you become a fool. Read.
And changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man.
Come on.
And to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves.
Come on.
Who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
Come on.
Who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change their natural use into that which is against nature.
It's against nature. So but the law of the land said it's okay. Rome said it's okay. You told me that the oracles that God gave us through man, these are the ones that we have to follow. This is what you told me. You said we got to follow the law of the land. That's what you told me. That's what you said. Keep going.
So Kana Makan, so go ahead and send your woman into battle then. You know what I mean? Go ahead and send them into battle, because that's taking them out of their natural use.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. If you want to obey the law of the land, then go ahead and send your woman to battle, man. Let her get killed.
Yeah, we don't do that. No. We don't do that. But that's what the law of the land say. But that's not what the Most High says.
Right.
So it's a difference in the two. So we got to be very careful on when we say, oh, well, you have to follow the law of the land. Right. Because if you don't, now it is laws of the land that we can follow to help keep us governed. All right. The red light means stop. Yellow means caution. Green means go. You got yield signs, yield to the pedestrians. All right. We got those. But I'm going to look at your in book of Romans that you gave me just as well. And I'm going to show you exactly what he was talking about when he was talking about the law of the land. All right. You done with that? You got any more on that?
Yeah, 27. Come on, God. Verse 27.
Come on.
And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the women, burned in their lusts one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meet.
It's unseemly.
Unseemly.
Well, what about the law of the land? I mean, that's what I was told. I told you that's what I was told, right?
Right.
We got to follow the law of the land.
Yeah.
That's what we was told. All right.
That's that ain't the first time I heard that. That's nothing new.
Well,
I've heard that before. It's modern now. Things Salaki, if I may, sir. Things are modernized now. You know what I mean? It's not like way back in the days of old. You know what I mean? Or we're in this captivity, so we got to do according to what the captor say. You see what I'm saying? Because this ain't our time. Yeah, I heard it all.
All right, let's go to I got also, they gave me Romans 13:1.
Romans 13:1.
Let's get it.
All right, it's the book of Romans, chapter 13 and 1. Yeah. No. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
Come on.
For there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God.
So he's saying that these powers and these ordinances and the order that's set up right here in this country, they were set up by the Most High. Oh, don't get it misunderstood. It was set up by the Most High.
Right.
No doubt about it. Read.
Right. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
Come on.
For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good. See that again, Salakia.
Yeah, I was.
I see. There's your answer right there. Like, but you know, I'll say it again. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Will thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good.
Do that which is good. And it's talking about the Most High. Remember that. It said at the end of verse 1, the powers to be are ordained by the Most High. For there is no power but the Most High. So his power is the highest power.
Supersedes
so do that which is good.
Right.
Do that which is good.
So that way,
Salakia, he wants you to do. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir. So that means if their law says to marry a man and you're a man, then you do which is good according to our law, which is not to marry a man with a man. You see what I'm saying? That's what that's saying right there. It's very clear.
It's very clear. It's
very
really
clear.
Clear in verse 4 too.
Kana Makan, sir.
Come
on. Let me finish. Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. Verse 4. For he is the minister of God to thee for good. But if thou
for what?
Salakia. For he is the minister of God to thee for good.
For good. And there's only one that's good, and that's the Most High. And the only way to love him is keeping his laws, his statutes, and his commandments. Read.
That's right. But if thou do that which is evil,
do that which is evil. Come on.
Be afraid.
Yes.
For he beareth not the sword in vain. Oh. For he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil.
Exactly. Just like us. When we broke those laws, those statutes, and those commandments, the Most High allowed Esau and the Edomites and everybody to come together with that for that crafty counsel. He allowed that. He allowed that execution to go forth. That execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. And when you go against the laws, the statutes, and the commandments, that's what you're doing. You're doing that which is evil. All right. Read, because I want the person, hopefully the person that gave me the information is watching, and they're gonna understand exactly what he was talking about in Romans 13. So keep going.
Wherefore ye must needs be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. For this cause pay ye tribute also.
Do what?
Pay ye tribute also.
Pay your tribute. Come on.
For they are God's ministers, attending continually upon this very thing.
Come on.
Render therefore to all their dues. Tribute to whom tribute is due.
Come on.
Custom to whom custom. Fear to whom fear. Honor to whom honor.
Come on.
Owe no man anything but to love one another.
Anything. Go ahead.
But to love one another. For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law.
And this is talking about loving your brothers.
Right.
And loving your sisters.
Right.
Let's try doing that. Maybe if you try loving your brothers and loving your sisters, you can see these scriptures better. You can get a better understanding on what we're saying in the School of Universal Practical Knowledge, led by Commander General Yohana, through these scriptures and these precepts. Do that. And that may help you a great deal. Read. Now this is what it's all about. Listen. Read.
Verse 9. For this thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet. And if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
That's our law. That's what this was all about. That's what it was all about. All right. But one of the things he said in verse 9 was, he says, for this thou shalt not commit adultery. So what is adultery? What is adultery? Because the law of I'm going to show you that Yahushua went up against the law of the land. Yahushua went up against the law of the land. Yes, he did.
He did.
Because in Rome, I wish you had this. I wanted to give you this. In Rome, let me read y'all the definition, the law for divorce in Rome. It's the reason why he's saying that don't commit adultery. All right. All right. This was called the Manus marriage. It was a custom that ended in the 1st century BCE, and the free marriage divorce emerged. Listen what it's called. It's called the free marriage divorce emerged. You can find this on Wikipedia if y'all need to see this. It's right at your hip. It says, with this, the reason for any divorce became irrelevant. Either spouse could leave a marriage at any point. So divorce under Rome was different,
right,
from the Most High. You want something? You got something you want to add?
No, you twab. You right there.
Yeah, because what Rome was teaching was you can do, if you wanted another wife, you would have to divorce one and then go marry another. Who that sound like? Right here in the old United States of America, right? This is what Esau is teaching now. If you want another one, this is what Rome was teaching. And Rome was teaching that you can put that woman away for any reason. For any reason. You can divorce her. Go get another one. Oh, you don't like her no more? Go get another one. Oh, you don't like her no more? Go get another one. Oh, you don't like her no more? Go get another one. Oh, you don't like him no more? Go get another one. Oh, you don't like him no more? Go get another one. This is what we was taught. We was taught to just throw them away. Salakia, for 1 second. We was taught the most disgusting thing you could possibly do to a woman, especially one of our women from our stock. You just gonna throw her away. You done with her? Throw her away. Go get another one. That's what you respect. That's what Christians respect. The number one divorcees on this planet right now, Salakia, on this side of the earth, let me say that on this side of the earth is Protestants, it's Christians. It's the very ones that's teaching that, yo, you can't have more than one. You can only have one. So they're following after a Roman custom. They're following after American custom. Let's see, according to what the person gave me, because the person gave me and said, oh, you got to follow the law of the land, because it says it. It says you got to follow it in all things. Let's see if Christ taught to follow it in all things. You want something to add?
Man, yeah, kind of kind, sir, if I may. Like, yep, you're past the cheating. All right. And that's how they look at it. You know what I'm saying? Because they like, you know what? I'm not getting what I want from this one. So I'm just going to stop, giving her the attention, and I'm just going to go after another one. And then he gets caught, and then they get a divorce. You see what I'm saying? It's because he got caught. The reason why he don't want to just outright, divorce you is because he knows that in this kingdom, the woman gets everything. You know what I'm saying? So he's trying to hold on to all his things as best as he can. So that's why he creeping. You know what I mean? But your pastor, that's what he's doing. He's out there. If he could, he would just divorce you and then go get another one. Divorce you and then go get another one. And he would just keep doing that. That's exactly all he would do. They would look for a reason to say, you know what, she's not giving me what I want, so I'm gonna cut her off. You know what I mean? And because of what your pastor has done, that's why you can't understand multiple wives. That's why you can't understand, because you feel as though what we do is we get one and we cut them off, and we go after another one. We get another and cut them off. Everybody in the world, that's what they're doing. If they understood once you lay with someone that is your wife, then that's what they're doing.
And we're gonna show that. We're gonna show what marriage is. We're definitely gonna show what marriage is, for sure. But there's a couple things that I really want to make sure that I deal with. Because like I said, someone took the time out to send me this information. So I want to make sure that I deal with this.
And Salakia, sir, if I may, check, is there anything to make sure, check the chat, because I can't see the chat stuff either.
Oh, man. Let me see. Oh, we got 4 comments.
Okay, come on. Just to make sure, in case anybody is asking any questions or making any comments, you know, we want to make sure that we, you know, give them a voice. And
okay. No, ain't nobody saying nothing.
All right, kind of.
All right.
Sir.
So now we're gonna look at Matthew 19, because we're gonna see if did Yahushua teach it. Now, if Yahushua taught against the law of the land, if he taught that you can divorce for anything you wanted, then that's one thing. But if he taught something different, then what you sent me, pow, it's over. Let's get it. Matthew 19. We're gonna start at verse 3.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, and verse 3. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause?
Is it lawful? Were they talking about the law of the land? Listen, we had a big fornication problem during this time. This is why you see thou shalt not commit fornication. Do not commit fornication. Been warning the Israelites, Gentiles that was coming in, do not commit fornication. Why? Right. Because remember, we were taught during the Roman captivity that you could marry whoever you want to marry, but you had to divorce one and marry another. So keep that in mind. So they're asking, is it lawful? This is the question. This is not about multiple wives. This is about, is it lawful to put away his wife for any cause? Can you divorce her for any reason? Now, the law of this land say you can do that too. You can divorce them for any reason. But here's a question that the Pharisees is coming to tempt our king and ask our king, is it lawful for a man to put away a wife for any reason, for any cause? Is it? Let's see what he said. Come on, read.
And he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female?
So I guess that right there, that's a backstab at homosexuality that was going on in Rome right there. Have you not read from the beginning? Made a male and female. That's what he made them.
Right.
He didn't make a male and male or female and female. Male and female. That's what he made. So it's taking a little back shot at that. Read.
Right. Khan, not Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, Adam and Eve.
Come on.
Khan. And said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh.
Now, what does one flesh mean? One flesh means family.
Right.
It means family. That's what it means. All right. Read.
Khan.
Salakia, just in case somebody get that mistaken, let's grab that. Hold that Matthew. Let's go to Romans 1 and Romans 9.
Khan. All right.
Let's start at verse 3.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
According to the flesh. Read.
Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises. whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came.
So the flesh means family. Let's go back to that Matthew 19 piece. So I just want to make sure that we got that straight. All right. I just want to make sure we got that straight. All right, read.
Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh.
Come on.
What therefore God have joined together, let not man put asunder.
I guess that right there throws a shot at America's old law and Romans' old law. That's what it's saying. You don't, it ain't none. With the Most High is brought together, you can't let nobody mess that up. You can't let nobody or nothing or no government or no oracles or no Romans or no American system come between that. That's what he's saying. Read.
They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away?
This is just like them too. They like, okay.
I
Well,
gotcha.
Well, why did Moses then? Why did Moses do it then? We got it.
Right.
Why did Moses give a bill of divorce then? Why?
Oh, you foolish Pharisees.
Why did he do it? Read.
He saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning, it was not so.
So from the beginning, it was not so. Why is he saying from the beginning, it was not so? Let me tell you. The reason why he's saying not from the beginning, it was not so, and because of the hardness of your hearts, is because our brothers and our sisters and our elders that was coming out of Egypt couldn't deal with their Eve's mouth. They couldn't deal with all of that hostility, all that yelling, all that screaming, all that bickering and all that. They couldn't deal with that. So because of the hardness of their hearts, suffer them to put away their ribs. But from the beginning, it was not so, because Eve brought sin into the world. Eve brought sin into our world. Eve did something that was horrible, but Adam didn't put her away. Because from the beginning, it was not so. But because of the time of Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffer you to put away your rib. Suffer you to put away your wife. That's what he's saying. Read.
Verse 9.
Here he comes. He's going to come at the you at verse 9. Now we about to deal with the law of the land. Because remember, during this time, it was divorce for any cause. That's why they asked this question. Can you put them away for any reason? Remember, I just read you the law of the land says you can put away your wife for any reason. You can put away your woman for any cause. Whatever you want, you can put her away. It doesn't matter. And anybody can do it, the male or the female. Well, in Israel, we don't have no women putting away men. So there's another one that's against our law. How should I handle this? Go ahead, read verse 9.
Verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication.
Except it be for fornication. Is that in our law? Is it in our law that we can put away our women because of fornication? Well, let's see. Hold that. Let's go to Leviticus 20 and 10. Let's see if it's in there. Let's see what fornication is. Because listen, in America, fornication is having sex before you go down to Esau and get paperwork and allow him to say that now before God, as he stand before God, now you're married. We call that, in this country, we call that fornication. Fornication is sex before marriage, but that's not under these laws, these statutes, these commandments. That's not under our wisdom and understanding that the nations may look upon us and say, what a wise and bright and wonderful nation, a wise and great nation. It ain't going to say that. They can't look upon us because according to the law of the land, according to what I was just told through my message, that we got to follow the law of the land. The law of the land say you can divorce for any reason. Let's see what our king has to say about this. Leviticus. Let's see what the oracles of God has to say about it. Let's see what the precepts got to say about it. Leviticus 20 and 10. Read.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife.
With who?
with another man's wife.
Now let's make sure we understand this. A man that sleeps with another man's wife. That means if she's married, she has a husband, and another man sleep with her, that's fornication. Read it again, huh?
And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
So it don't say adultery is before you go and get married. This is what it's saying. Hold that. We may have to come back to that. Go back to Matthew 19 and read verse 9 again.
Matthew, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication,
come on,
and shall marry another, committeth adultery.
Does what?
Committeth adultery.
So what he's saying is that if you put your wife away, like they said for any cause, let's say you don't like her, she run her mouth too much, so you put her away, and then someone else marry her, it says, and she married to another, commit adultery. Read.
And whoso marrieth her which is not put away doeth commit adultery.
Which marrieth her which is put away is commit adultery.
Which is kind of a.
So if you put that woman away, so if you got a whole lot of divorcing for any cause, and you got all these women, you got this woman, she's been married about 4 times. This woman, she's been married about 3 times. This man, he's been married, he's been sleeping with this woman that he had married because her husband put her away because he didn't like. This is all fornication. This is all against our law. That's not what the law of the land say. The law of the land say right now you could divorce for any cause. So what should I do with that? How should I handle that? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's another law that you can do. You can take me before the judge. You can take me before the devil. You can tell me, you know what? If you don't follow what I say, I'm taking you before the devil. Well, why am I saying it like that? Because if you're saying you taking me before Esau, you taking me before the devil. That's the law of the land. The law of the land say we can take it. I can take you to court. You can take me to court. My wife can take me to court. I can take her to court. But let's see what our scriptures got to say about this, because our scriptures got something to say about we got to keep everything the law of the land say. It got something else to say about that. Go to 1 Corinthians 6.
Oh my God.
And then we're going to get into Timothy.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6. What verse want to start at?
You can start right there at verse 1.
At the beginning. All right, come on. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 1. Dare any of you
dare
all caps.
It's talking to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And that dare, say it again, is in what?
All caps.
It's in all caps. Paul is saying, I dare you. I dare any of you. I dare you. Because now you're saying that because I want to follow the oracles of the land. I mean, the oracles of God, the Most High God. Hold that real quick. Go to Deuteronomy. Matter of fact, go to Exodus 21 and 10. And then hold that, because we're gonna go back to that. I'm gonna put a scenario out there.
Okay. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 21, and verse 10. If he take him another wife, her
Read it
food,
again.
If he take him another wife.
So now let's say you marry, and now your husband, your head, he wants to do what?
If he take him another wife.
If he take himself another wife, what are you going to do? Hold on, we're going to get back to that. But I just wanted to read that one part, because he's going to take another wife. And when he take another wife, guess what you're going to say? Now, first of all, there is no word for wife in the scriptures.
Right.
The word is really woman. So if he take another woman, that's what it's saying. So if he take another woman, guess what she going to do? guess what she gonna do? She gonna take you before the devil. She gonna go down and file some paperwork with the devil. Tell the devil what you did. Like, oh, he done took another wife. So now, guess what? You can divorce for any cause, for any reason. That's one of the reasons why you might want to divorce, because he took another wife. So now you want to do this. Now go back to 1 Corinthians 6. This is what you want to do. You want to break all kinds of laws to prove your point. To prove what you're saying, you're actually in order to go up against this right here, you're breaking so many laws dealing with these scriptures. You're breaking so many. Read.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 1.
Come on.
Dare any of you having a matter against another go to law before the unjust and not before the saints?
So now you're going to take me before the devil and not before blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
The Israelites.
Right.
The Israelites.
Our council. You want to go to the Salakia, if I may, sir.
Go ahead.
You want to go to that crafty council that's against you and not against the council of the Most High God.
Yes. That's what they want to do. And you know what? And it says before the saints. Well, who are the saints? Let me read who the saints are, just in case. Because, they got, when you're listening to the law of the land and you're listening to Esau, he can come up with anything.
Right.
He can say anything. So we got to make sure that we let the people know who the saints are. You got that?
Let me Salakia. Let me
Psalms 50 and 5.
Oh, you got it. Okay,
Psalms 50 and 5. And then we're gonna go back to 1 Corinthians 6, because now they want to take me before the devil. They want to take me before the unjust, and not before the saints. Well, who are the saints? Read.
This is 50 and 5. This is Psalms chapter 50 and verse 5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
That's only the Israelites. Read.
That's right. Khan. And the heavens shall declare his righteousness, for God is judge himself. Salah.
Read.
Hear, O my people, and I will speak. O Israel, O Israel.
Come on.
And I will testify against thee. I am God, even thy God.
All right. So now we know who the saints are.
Right.
So now go back to 1 Corinthians 6, because I wanted to follow the law of the scriptures and I went and got myself another woman. Now you want to do me in front of the devil, the unjust. Come on.
Khan. Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters?
Are you unworthy? Come on. So now you're doing all kinds of despicable things. Now, because you didn't listen to Esau, you didn't listen to the unjust, you didn't listen to the devil, you didn't listen to the law of the land that had it at a seed and be more powerful than the law of this book. Now you done got me in all kinds of jam. Now you done got yourself jammed up. Because now the Most High is looking up on you. Right. The Most High is looking at you, and he's not looking at you as being pleasant. Not at this point, because now you're doing to prove your point, to prove the power of Esau. Now you're going against all type of laws. Do you take me before the unjust? Sure you will. Sure you will. Let's go to Romans 7 and 1, and then we're gonna go to 1 Timothy.
It's the book of
I can't
Romans.
even get into my lesson because I'm doing these scriptures right here, but we probably gonna have a part 2 to this.
We definitely gonna have a part 2. Because I want some of this. Yeah, I want to get some of this, man. This is Romans chapter 7 and verse 1.
Come on.
Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law.
This is to them that know the law, being as though you don't know the law that well, and the only law you know is the law of the land.
Right.
This may not be talking to you. This may not be talking to you, but it's about you, but it may not be talking to you. Read it again.
Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law.
Mhm.
how that the law have dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
As long as he lived. Read.
For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband, so long as he liveth.
No, that doesn't say the man is bound to the woman. It says the woman is bound to the man as long as he live.
As long as he liveth.
So that means that, you know, I know under the devil's contract, I know under the devil's marriage proposal, you could divorce me for anything.
Right.
You can take the stance that the Pharisees took against Yahushua when they came to tempt him, because you believe that you can follow and have to follow the laws of the land because the Most High put them there for good or for evil, because that right there is evil.
Right.
Look at the harmony of the scriptures. When we went to Matthew 19, it says, listen, if you put your woman away for anything except be for fornication and marry another and she marry another, that's adultery. Now it's telling you right here, as long as I'm alive, you belong to me. You my woman. You my possession. Right. I own you. Yeah, that's what it says. That's what it says. So how do we deal with that? Because according to what you're saying, the law of the land exceeds the law of the scriptures. See how silly that sound? See how silly that sound? The Most High is not saying that now I can run the green light, the red lights, and I can lie, I can steal, I can go and take what I want. He's not saying, he's talking about those things. He's not talking about the relationship that I have and you have with the Most High as our witness, as one that stands in for us. Where in the scriptures does it say that you have to go to Esau, ask Esau for permission to marry a saint? Where's that at? Since you want to pull out scriptures, why don't you send me that one? Let's go to 1 Timothy 3. Let's deal with that one.
Okay.
And then we're going to go to 1 Corinthians 7. Hold on for 1 second. Now I can't get back. Salakia. Yeah, that's 1 Timothy 3.
Come on. You want to stop at the top? Start at the top?
Please do.
It's the book of 1 Timothy.
This the killer right here. This the killer right here. This the one they say, see, this is it. Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. This is a true saying.
This is a true saying. Go ahead.
If a man desire the office, of a bishop, he desireth a good work. A bishop then must be blameless.
All right, stop for 1 second because we want to get some things out here. It says the bishop must. The word must means absolute. All right. When it says he must be blameless, read. So that means he got to be blameless. Go ahead.
Right. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife.
The husband of one wife.
Vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, appointed to teach.
So it's saying you must. That means it has to be. You must be blameless. You must be the husband of one wife. It doesn't say if you want a wife or if you want two wives, or it don't say that. It says you must be the husband of one wife. You must be vigilant. You got to be. Can you not be vigilant? Because let me explain to you why I'm saying this. The reason why I'm saying this is because when I spoke to the person concerning this matter, and they said a bishop must be blameless, the husband of one wife, they're saying, oh, well, what that's really saying is if he's married, he can only be married to one woman. That's not what that's saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not what that's saying. And the scripture and the precept that they use is 1 Corinthians 7:1, which I'm going to show what 1 Corinthians 7:1 is talking about. All right. But it says this is easy. A bishop must be blameless, must be the husband of one wife. Well, we're saying that this wife is not, this is talking about the truth. You got to be married to this truth.
Right.
That's what this is talking about. Now, how could I prove that? How could I prove that this is not talking about you must have one wife? Because that's what it says. It says must be the husband. It says the husband of one wife, right? Mm-hmm. So the question is, was Yahushua a bishop? Was Yahushua a bishop? That's the question. Go to 1 Peter, the same book that they pulled earlier. Go to 1 Peter 2:25. We read 2:13, but maybe you should have kept reading and read down to 2:25. Because if you read down to 2:25, you get a surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
You get a surprise.
It's the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 25. For ye were as sheep going astray, but are now returned unto the shepherd and bishop.
And the what?
And bishop.
Come on.
Of your souls.
So if it's saying that you must be the husband of one wife, and Yahushua wasn't married, guess what? He's breaking the law. The scriptures cannot be broken. That's broken. If you're saying that the bishop must be the husband of one wife, because your argument is he got to be the husband of one wife and he got to have children under control, and those children and that wife and that household, he has to be able to run that household in order to run the house of the Lord. That's not what that's talking about. That's saying exactly what we are doing right now. We're married to this ministry.
That's right.
We married to this. All right. That's what we're married to this, to this woman, to this truth, ISUPK. We're married to it.
All right.
And I'm faithful to it. Go to Revelation 14. Just to show. Now, this is the same word. Matter of fact, start at 12:1 first.
Okay.
Because for some reason, when they see this, now remember, there is no word in the Hebrew for wife. The word is woman. So this is the same word. I'm going to use the same word that we used in 1 Timothy 4:2. It's going to be the same word that we're going to read right here. Go to Revelation 12:1.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet.
Now, is that a real woman? Is that a real woman? Keep reading. Let's see.
With the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
All right, that's Salakia. That's good. So right there is using the same word. It's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. It's talking about those that are under this truth. It's talking to those that we are committed to going out in the streets and putting our life on the line for. That's what it's talking about. Go to Revelation 14:11.
Okay. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 11. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the... Oh, Salakia.
Let me pour this real quick because I want to get this. That's Revelation 14:4, Salakia.
14:4, Kanamakan. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 4.
Start at verse 2.
Kanamakan. Revelations 14 and chapter 14 and verse 2.
Come on.
And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne.
Come on.
And before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000.
Those are those ones that are married to this truth.
That's right.
Come on.
Which were redeemed from the earth.
Come on.
These are they which were, Salakia, these are they which were not defiled with women.
This word for women is not talking about wives or a real woman. This is talking about we are committed to this truth. And no, we don't sidetrack with Islam. We don't sidetrack with Christianity. We don't have Buddha in our back pocket. We don't have none of that. We are faithful to this ministry. And these are they which have not defiled themselves with women.
Right.
This is not talking about marriage.
Right.
This is talking about commitment. The book of Timothy is a pastoral book. It's teaching how to govern yourself in the Most High house, dealing with the Most High's people. That's who we are committed to. That's what we are married to. That's what that's talking about. In 1 Timothy, it is not talking about you being married to a woman.
If I may, sir. Salaki, if I may, sir. Just like when it's talking about being adulterous, you know what I mean? When we went and took on the customs of the land, you see what I'm saying? When you look in First Maccabees, you know what I mean? We became adulterers. You see what I'm saying? Because we weren't keeping the law, statutes, commandment. We forsook our law. You see what I'm saying? And we started taking on false idols. That is committing adultery.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what that scripture, you know what I mean, refers. So not every single time when you see, you know, adultery or when you see fornication, it's not talking about marriage. It's talking about how we are to be in spirit.
And that's one of the big things that Christians and fake Hebrew Israelites got to really get an understanding on. All right, let's go to their favorite. This is another one of their favorites. Isaiah 4:1. Oh, they love it.
Isaiah 4:1. I'm gonna know what it is as soon as I see it.
Hey, I was debating.
Yeah,
I was battling.
I knew it was gonna be this one.
I was battling somebody from IUIC, and he pulled this.
And
then when I gave him the precept for it, I ain't hear nothing else about it. He ain't even talk to me no more about it.
Why would they pull this one?
Because they really not understanding it. Now, I used to be one that didn't understand it just as well. All right, my rib actually had me read this.
Man, when I first, Salai, if I may, when I first read this is around the time we was talking about the you can lay with little girls, you know what I mean, or what rape and everything was. You see what I'm saying? And I would use this scripture, but yeah, Kana Makan. That's something
crazy.
else.
All right, now let's see what it's talking about. Now, what I'm going to do is first we're going to read verse 1. 4:1. We're going to read verse 1, right? And we're going to show you how Christians get a misunderstanding of the scripture. Read.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So
they're saying in that day, I was taught this too, that that day is talking about heaven.
Right.
And whenever you see in that day, it's talking about heaven.
Right.
It's not. So first, let me prove that first.
Right.
I want to prove that first. I want you to go to Acts chapter 15. Acts chapter 15, and there's 2 scriptures we're going to pull. I want you to hold that Acts 15, and then I want you to go to Amos 9. Now, I examine this, so you can't say, oh, well, you're not really reading it right. I'm going to read it in context. I'm going to read it right, and we're gonna get an understanding. So when you go to, so the first thing we're gonna prove that when it says in that day, it's not necessarily meaning in heaven.
Right.
All right. It's not saying that. So what I want you to do is I want you to start at verse Amos chapter 9.
Mhm.
Start at verse 9.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 9. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
So it's talking about gathering Israel.
Right.
That's what it's talking about. This is the Most High talking about right here. Verse 10.
All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us.
Come on.
In that day,
In
will
what?
in that day,
In what?
in that day,
In that day, go ahead.
will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old.
Okay, so now it says in verse 11, in that day will I rise up the tabernacle of David. Now, when someone sees this, they're going to say, oh, see, this is talking about in heaven. Because
Right.
in the kingdom, he's going to rise up the house of David that is fallen. In that day, I'm going to prove to you that just because it says in that day, it's not talking about in the kingdom when Yahweh shall return. It's not necessarily talking about that. And I'm going to prove it. Now you're going to go to Acts 15, and we're just going to get right to the point. We're going to go to verse 13. Now listen, what's going on is you got Cornelius is who the subject matter is here. All right. And the rest of the Gentiles. Peter has testified. If you go up to verse 7 and you come down, Peter has testified. Paul has testified. Now James is going to talk about Cornelius and talk about the Gentiles that Paul brought in. He's going to talk about it right here. Start at verse 13.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 15 and verse 13.
Start at 12.
Verse 12. Then all the multitude kept silence and gave audience to Barnabas and Paul, declaring what miracles and wonders God had wrought among the Gentiles by them. And after they had held their peace, James answered, saying, Men and brethren, hearken unto me. Simeon hath declared how God at the first did visit the Gentiles to take out of them a people for his name. And to this agree the words of the prophets, as it is written.
Salakia. So it's saying, and to this agree the words of the prophets, as it is written. So he's about to give you a scripture, a precept from the prophets.
That's right.
Read.
After this, I will return and will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down. And I will build again the ruins thereof, and I will set it up, that the residue of men might seek after the Lord, and all the Gentiles upon whom my name is called, saith the Lord, who doeth all these things.
So it's talking about in that day.
In that day.
In that day. This has happened during the time of Cornelius. So when you read in that day, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's happening when Yahweh shall return. Remember, there's a process that takes place. There's a process that takes place. And when that process began, it began after Yahweh shall went to the cross. But the point is, it doesn't mean that when it says in that day, it's talking about in the kingdom. So now let's go back to Isaiah 4:1.
Okay.
Because we're going to find out what day is it talking about. Because we're going to find out. You about to see in what.
Uh-oh. Lost you there. Oh, let me know. Bear with us, having some technical difficulties. All right, bear with his people. You know what I mean? He about to come back on in a second here. But what the brother is bringing out is so heavy. Yeah, man, this is some deep stuff here. So give us just a few more moments. You know what I mean? And you know, Officer Thashiyan will be coming back up here in a second. You know, I ain't gonna go on what the brother was teaching on, man. I want to keep it right there, where we at in Isaiah 4:1 and talking about that day. You know what I mean? Not necessarily always when it says that day, and that day, it's not talking about just the kingdom. You know what I mean? There are other instances where that is brought up, you know, throughout the scriptures. So just bear with us just a few more moments here. If y'all watching, I appreciate y'all hanging on. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, you know what I mean, to the channel, ISUPK Delaware on YouTube. And of course, we're on Facebook as well. You know, like and subscribe and share this channel, man. Share this information. Get this out. You know, because a lot of this information you're not going to get in your Christian church. You're not going to get from anywhere else other than the ISUPK. So, you know, I hope y'all really taking heed to a lot of the stuff that we bringing out here. All right. So brother should be coming on in just a few more moments. All right. And if y'all just tune in, we're gonna be wrapping up here too, because the greatest show on earth is about to come on 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? You definitely want to watch the Black Watch with Commanding General Yohana. So y'all make sure y'all tune into that. And you know, we're gonna be kicking it off in a second here. Let me see where he at. Let's see here. All right. All right, y'all continue to hanging in there with us, man. We're still bearing through it here. All right, so hey, shalom Israel, man. Appreciate y'all again holding on for a couple minutes there, but we ran into some technical difficulties, so we're gonna pick this up next week. We're gonna do a part 2 session, man, because it's warranted. It's a lot of good information that the brother brought out. I had some scriptures that I wanted to bring out as well, but I'm gonna hold off, and because where he was at, you know what I mean, I wanted to stay right there. So he gonna pick up on Isaiah chapter 4 and 1. And you know, he's going to add that on into you know, what we talking about here as far as what Christians or, you know, fake Israelites, whatever have you, say about marriage, so that we can get to the whole matter of this thing and the whole end result, so that everybody could be on one accord in their understanding. So with that, you know what I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and end this out here. What I want to do is the security announcement. So rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are to be Slakia. Let me pull that up. They are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Tithes, which is a commandment. Salakia, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, Ma'ishara, which means 10th in Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Priest fund, which is a free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations. Actually, the upcoming holy convocation we just got finishing the Feast of Dedication, which was amazing. You know what I mean? We had some amazing food. The sisters turned out. My plate was so heavy. My plate was so heavy. So we Feast of Dedication. Hold on, Tashi. I'm checking in real quick. Let me just check with him real quick, people. 1 second.
Shit.
Yo, all right, we live. Most High in Christ. Yeah, I mean, you back in there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, word. Most High in Christ.
I'm about to finish this.
Yeah.
I had to switch the camera real quick.
Or did you? All right, Salaki, I started the security announcement, but did you want to add anything to that scripture?
No. Go ahead and wrap it up, and then let me
kind of.
Hurry up.
Kind of kind. So we just finished up Feast of Dedication. I was telling them how Tawab it was. Food was amazing. You know what I mean? You know, while the world is celebrating Thanksgiving and making a law to celebrate Thanksgiving, the Most High Power's law is above, you know what I mean, the law of the land. And he told us to keep the Feast of Dedication. You know what I mean? And its season. You know what I'm saying? So we kept the Feast of Dedication, which the Jewish people ignorantly call Hanukkah, but it's Hanukkah. And you know, it was an amazing time, man, with being with the brothers and the sisters and getting some good food in. But the upcoming holy convocation is going to be the Purim, which is going to be on Tuesday, February 15th. All right, but we are still in the Feast of Dedication. It is for 8 days, so make sure you know y'all got y'all Manaraz lit and keeping those feasts for the 8 days. You know, when
That's
we
right.
celebrate it. Kind of a sir.
And make sure. Listen, if you're in Delaware, get down 1232 North King Street. Come
That's
on
right.
Down. The last day for the Feast of Dedication is what, Tuesday?
Believe it's, let me see, Monday, because it's 8 days. So Sunday,
Tuesday,
Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. So
y'all need to come on down. 1232 North King Street. Come on down here, and so that you can be faithful to this work.
That's right.
You can be faithful to this truth. All right.
That's
I just
right.
wanted to add that.
Kana Wakan. All right. So
Salaki, one more thing.
Sure.
Next week, we're gonna do that Isaiah 4:1.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't forget about that. We are gonna do it. Maybe some of the listeners that listen, they can go and they can check it, and you can look at it, and then you can examine it. So next week when we come back, we can properly, rightly divide that and show you exactly what day that's talking about, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Oh, this is gonna crush everybody's theory that we gotta be in our land. You gotta be in your land to do this. This is. I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna chill. Because I really want to get it off, but I'm gonna wait till next week.
I mean, it was so much. Kind of a cut, man. Kind of a cut. It like even in giving the announcements, Salakia, sir, if I may, you know, it's when it says that after 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel. You see what I'm saying? So like we don't just do stuff, you know what I mean? We seek counsel. We don't seek the counsel of this world. We seek the counsel that has been given to us by authority of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So it's everything. Even in the security announcements, is bringing up a lot of the stuff that we talking about here. You know what I mean? But just finishing off, if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, I give a courtesy salute to the teacher. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Brakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Brakatah.
All right. And to the sisters that's been watching, that's in this world, shalom to you. We say, shalom Yahweh Shamar Alatham Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. All right. And with that, shalom Israel. Make sure y'all tune into the Black Watch, getting ready to start in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? And shalom Israel.
Shalom Israel.